Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dave. Let me see if I get this. Got a lot of light over here in the office. All right, so today what we're gonna talk about is your sphere of influence, right? SOI. A lot of realtors talk about it. They think they know how to build it, but let's just consider what it's going to take. So what is your sphere of influence? All the people who know you, trust you, and may do business with you. All right, so think of the people closest to you as your inner circle or of your sphere or your sphere of influence of your sphere of influence. They are your biggest champions. They already know, trust, and respect you. Therefore, they are likely to be willing to help you because, after all, people like to do business with those they know, trust, and respect, right? We're going to talk about some ways to earn trust and respect, and we're going to talk about some basic rules for your sphere of influence and my personal perspective on how to grow your sphere of influence and who it should really be. Because let's face it, me being in a business from year one to selling one house to last year selling 80 houses to currently having 17 under agreement this month, one thing's for certain. If I waited for my friends and family to do business with me, I would be waiting forever. Let me repeat that again. If I waited for my friends and family to do business with me, I would be literally waiting forever. Your inner circle is the group of people you look to most often and reward most often for help and support, referring business your way. In fact, the majority of your business during your first year in real estate will most likely originate from your inner circle. It's only natural. Your sphere is the place where you will begin to find leads, right? So this is an Ignite class. Now this is where you could get leads, right? So here's you. This is your immediate friends and family, your neighbors, your relatives, your friends, your spouse or partner, and then their alliance of people, right? Insurance agent, mortgage company, banker, doctor, your kids, basically everybody, right? Now, you got to write down some places where you could get your sphere of influence, but I'm just going to explain to you how to think about it, right? So here are some places you could get it. Teachers, your kids' teachers, home repair guy, real estate agent could be your sphere of influence, other real estate agents, church club volunteers, professional services, gyms, everywhere, right? You could find people that like you and trust you everywhere. But here are some things that I personally learned from doing business over so many years. Number one, when we first started in the business, we had to cold call because even though we had some little sphere, the little sphere that we had was not able to purchase real estate, right? So you gotta understand, not all sphere of influences are created equal, right? There are some people that network with people that only own boats and have houses on Nantucket and making a ton of money, and that's their influence, right? That's their social circle. And you may come from a place like myself where you don't have much of a social circle starting out, not much of people who can actually afford and buy stuff. So what are you gonna do in that case? What I suggest is we had to start off cold calling, right? And we're cold calling everybody. That's my brother sneaking out behind me. He's always interrupting my videos, but that's okay. Business is always interruptions. You have to stay focused. Now, when we got into cold calling, we've built relationships with people, and they became our sphere of influence. As my business grew, people that know me became my sphere of influence, and little by little, things started changing. However, I didn't rely only on my sphere of influence. What happens is once you build a really, really big sphere of influence, like more than 70% of our business currently is sphere of influence, meaning I sold a house to an incredible person. I became friends with them. I look at them like they're my friend. I admire them. I like them. I like the way they are as a parent. And next thing you know, in the process of helping them sell their home and buy a home, they're now in my database. I consider them friends. And next thing you know, they're referring me to their sister, right? And their brother-in-law. Now that's sphere of influence business. Then they go ahead and refer me to their mother. And they go ahead and refer me to their friends. And next thing you know, I'm doing business with the whole family. And that's called building your sphere of influence, right? Now, one thing about sphere of influence that I learned is it has to be really, really, really authentic. You can't just go after people and say, hey, send me business, I'm in real estate, sell my house, do this. You just can't do that, because one thing about sphere and people is there's a certain level of trust and loyalty that cannot be given, and it has to be earned, right? And some people, even in my sphere, they'll do business with me and then they'll go do business with somebody else. So you have to recognize that there's different levels of loyalty. There's some people in my sphere that will only do business with us. Those people I trust very much and I take care of them. What does that mean? I'll do whatever I have to do for those people, right? Now, a lot of people think that real estate is really, really difficult to build a sphere. The best quote I ever heard in real estate is, real estate should be an extension of your life. Meaning, if you like to go to the gym, if you like to go do yoga, go do those things, go talk to people and build your sphere. For instance, I personally liked to cold call. I didn't like to, but I had no choice. And I became good at it. And then those people became my sphere. You get it? And I sold houses to them 3, 4, 5, 6 times over, 7 times over, some people, right? And we're really good friends. We go out to dinner. We have a good time together. They come to my DNA events, my hiking events, my, river events where we flow down the river in tubes. And I do all these things, right? They come to my company party. And that's my sphere of influence. People I also like and trust. You don't want to put people in your sphere of influence who you don't want to do business with. So just always remember that. Your sphere of influence, a true sphere, grows over time. And most people are going to stay in your sphere, but some people you got to get them out of your sphere, right? Because some people are just bad apples, meaning they have a bad attitude. And you don't want those people to be your sphere of influence, right? Because if birds of a feather flock together, then that means they're going to send you more bad apples. So what you want to do is just make sure you stay focused. It took me 10 years to grow a really strong sphere influence business. And, I just want to let everybody know, in real estate these days, when I started out, you really had to earn, and this is just 10 years ago, your plaques. You had to work up the ranks, and all these awards were based on actually achieving a merit of some sort, right? And there was a lot of respect. And nowadays, you take a 2-person team and you compare them to a 50-person team. Well, I just want to say that none of that matters. The real estate business of the individual real estate agent, true individual agent, right, is starting to get lost in this industry. And what I want you to learn from this particular Ignite class about your sphere is, even if you're on a team and you're growing and you have people in your life that you meet, add them to your database and just follow up with them. And the follow-up call could be very simple. It could be something like, hey, my name is Dave, just checking in on you. Did you need anything? And next thing you know, as you follow up with people more and more, what happens is you end up being friends, and then you end up doing more business with them. So if you're picking up your kids from school, go join the PTO if that's your thing. I thought I was going to try that, but you also don't want to force it, right? I joined the PTO, it's me and like a bunch of moms, and I just wasn't about that, right? There's ways to get your business that's your specific way, and what I think I'm suggesting is figure out the way you want to do business. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Just see what you might be good at and take that road and build it. And that's how you build your sphere of influence over time. Unless you have a huge sphere, then you just be top of mind awareness. And most of our business is done from sphere of influence. And that's people that know us, like us, and trust us. And it makes the business super, 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 super fun. So I hope that helped. That's your Ignite class on what to do with your sphere of influence and how to think about it. My name is Dave. This business has changed my life in so many wonderful ways, and I believe it can do the same for you. For me, if you're like me and not like most of these agents that look like they come out of the gate, take off, everything looks gravy for them, I had to work really, really hard to be where I am. And because of that, I think my foundation was built pretty solid. And if you follow some of these techniques, you will grow your sphere of influence and you will become better in the business. And if it didn't take off for you right away, just don't give up and keep on going.